All right, I'm gonna try something new tonight, guys. You can figure it out. Did you spot the things that are different? Make sure to comment after the show.
No, I'm trying a different restream system.
Hey, it's me, almost Mario.
Mario movie She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dorkening Mario movie, She-Hulk.
Okay, where's the damn button? Where's the damn button?
Oh, look at somebody's first day here.
Yeah.
Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friends are going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching Still On. Damn it, wrong show. Fuck.
Wow. Lay off the pipes, Mersh.
We're live.
We're on the Dorkening.
Take two.
Beep. We have an awesome show scheduled for you today. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. And before I get to our awesome guest, we watched something awesome this week. And there was something in the beginning of it, and I had to see if I can recreate it. There's no music to it because I'm having trouble finding the music, but check this out. And with us, Powerful Brandon.
Hi, I'm Powerful Brandon. You may recognize me from the voice that just went ding 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 ding. No, I'm doing all right, Leo. How are you? I hope everybody out there is doing well on this Wednesday and ready to talk about some rather dorky stuff that occurred over the past 7 days.
Oh yeah, totally. And Velvet Joker, how's it going?
It's going great. It's me, your man, Velvet J, a.k.a. Rich Davis, a.k.a. the Throwback King. Here, straight from Splash Pages last night. We had another great episode where we were talking about Werewolf by Night. And it was great. And we are award-winning. And Leo begged me to come on tonight. He said that the fans were clamoring for me. He got 30 or 40 emails. So, here I am for the fans. Back again.
I don't remember that.
Well, I certainly don't think he pluralized it. I think it was probably the fan said you were okay on the show. So, I guess too much of a good thing isn't that bad. So come on over, Rich. Because what the fuck else are you doing tonight?
Steven!
Hello, everyone. Greetings. I'm here live from work.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings from my vertical rectangle, humans.
So we've been having problems with Switchboard, and I know this is totally going total geeky dorky on everybody, but Switchboard is one of our restreaming services. And it's been erroring out on me. So I have this, because I tend to overdo shit. I had this totally other service that I wasn't using, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And it's pretty kick-ass. It's I'm liking it. So chances are you're watching us from a bunch of different other places. And only problem is I can't see the comments. So yeah. But
maybe I should not fill my screen with your faces, then I will pay attention to comments, I guess. Fuck, I didn't know I was gonna have a job tonight. Ugh.
Well, maybe keep an eye on one of the other channels if you want. It's totally up to you.
I mean, what channel? Oh, fuck it, whatever, man. I'll figure it out.
We'll fix it in post. So
we'll fix it in post. You can't fix everything in post. Some of the stuff needs to be fixed in pre. God damn it.
It's got a point.
Okay,
This is why my doctor has me on heart pills.
So the main, well, not the main topic. There's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about tonight, but Mario, it's, I know we touched on it a little bit last week, but it was revealed that, did it drop at New York Comic Con?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually was a two-way. It dropped at New York Comic Con, but it was at the same time the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
It was entirely to the trailer.
I remember last week we had the image of Mario. We didn't see the trailer yet, but now we've seen the trailer. And what the fuck, Nintendo?
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait. All right, so I was not here last week because I had a very severe cold. I had actually just gotten over the hump of it, but if I had come onto the show, I'd have been like, "Hey guys, it's me, Powerful Brandon. No, I did not get switched at birth with a frog, I promise." No, I was so fucking ready for bed, I didn't even stay up to watch the show. So what the fuck are you babbling about, Leo? Like tisk, 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 no, whisk, 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 Nintendo. What's happening here?
It looks, the graphics look awesome. You know, it's
I
not,
understand the general populace's issue. Well, I should say the vocal minorities issue. What I'm saying to you is, why are you going, Nintendo? Are you in agreement?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Okay, so I don't know if it was said last week, so I'm going to be that guy. You've now judged the entirety of his voice acting role.
No, I didn't judge. I'm not judging his voice acting role. I'm judging the decision to use him instead of the actor that's already in place.
What, for the video game?
Yeah.
I will tell you straight away, as someone who played Nintendo all throughout their childhood, never owned a Sega Genesis, had a Super Nintendo, and then had like essentially a quantum leap from that to PlayStation, because I never even had an N64. I've played numerous Mario games over the years, including for the Wii, the ill-fated Wii, the fuck was the other one? Wii U, and now the Nintendo Switch, okay? And if I had to listen to that, waha, let's go, for an hour and a half straight, I would not go see that movie. That is not a voice meant to be listened to for long stretches of time. No, thank you.
Well, Brandon, you seem to be in the minority on that.
That's how I live my life, Rich.
And since I have maybe a 3% chance of interviewing Tara Strong, who actually did an Instagram post with her arm around that particular voice actor,
I saw it.
So I'm gonna stick with Tara.
That's fine.
Well, tell you what, let me see if I can find it, because he did a. I'm just curious though, like, based on like the little bits of seriously teeny itsy bitsy dialogue playing fast and loose with that term that Mario had in the games themselves, people got their knickers in a twist because they feel like that should be the voice of Mario for the entirety of a large budget animated movie.
Well,
I'm mostly saying that out loud so everyone can hear me say it. Like, think about what I just said.
I don't think it's just that, Brandon. I think a lot of people...
No one's complaining about Jack Black as Koopa or Bowser, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Nobody's fucking complaining about him.
Is he doing the Jack Black voice, or is he doing...
He's Bowser's voice. I could identify him as Bowser when he started speaking.
Okay.
I mean, I
didn't see it. I just know what I'm hearing.
I could tell it was Charlie Day that was voicing Toadstool, but I'm not hearing anybody complain about those characters.
I think there's a general complaint from the people that love voiceover actors when a large role, especially from nerd culture, goes to a big name actor that a lot of the times just uses their regular voice. I think that's more of the rumblings, at least that I'm hearing.
It's very similar to what happened with Scooby-Doo too, where you had a voice actor that did a fabulous job with Scooby-Doo for the longest time. Then all of a sudden they decide to just
they took it away from him.
Sure. Yeah,
I think it's because people had a bad taste in their mouth with the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie, and they wanted this to be like the bowls of porridge for the three bears. They wanted this to be just right, but they've tried to nitpick one thing, and they found the one thing to nitpick. And I don't know if you guys saw the videos going around of people, trying to see the different voices from different countries of Mario. The France one, France version of the trailer got it down pat, video game wise. But someone used an AI voice of Charles Marionette, who is the voice of Mario in the games, the current games, and used the AI voice and used it to instead of Chris Pratt.
Redub the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was your opinion of that?
I'm excited for the trailer.
Well, no. I hold on. I mean, like, specifically the dubbing of the video game voices actor onto the trailer, the teaser that was released. That's what I meant.
You know, deep fakes and trailers, voices. I'm just, you know, it is what it is.
No. But I mean, like, did you feel that redubbing it with the video game voiceover actor's voice versus Chris Pratt improved it? Was just about the same or worse than?
Just about the same.
Okay.
But in my opinion about the trailer, I think that, you know, the Super Mario Brothers movie in '93, I saw as a kid and I loved, and I didn't realize the badness of it until I got older. I still like it. It's a guilty pleasure. But
no such thing, buddy. If you like it, you like it. No such thing as a guilty pleasure.
I liked it when it came out, Stephen. I actually watched it when it came out, probably in the
well,
theater.
when you see, if you hear our current episode when we did our throwback movie review on Psycho 1998, that is a guilty pleasure for me. I know people hate that movie left, right, and center, but I'm sorry. It's an ambitious project. Listen to our podcast for more. But I'm excited for the new Super Mario Brothers movie. You know,
yeah, I think it looks fun so far. You know, I mean, I think it'd be hard, especially with how they've designed it from just what little we've seen, for it to not be a fun movie. And certainly that is well removed from the 93 version, because that movie had some ideas. I will say that. Very, very odd take on everything altogether. But yeah, honestly, it's the very beginning of them ramping up for this movie to come out. I will say, I'm not trying to judge Chris Pratt's whole performance as Mario in the movie. On the positive side, like I'm essentially just playing devil's advocate. I have no strong opinion one way or the other, because my stance is I haven't heard enough to really come to that same consensus on either side. I will say that I did notice that he's speaking with like a New York City like dialect, you know, like a sort of almost like the patois of New York City. So, you know, sort of similar to the thing that Bradley Cooper did as Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think we should all maybe just, and I know this might be a tall order, but take like a deep breath and a step back and just like wait a couple of minutes before we start screaming that the sky is falling and the apocalypse is impending.
Well, so just to set the record straight, I'm not saying it's going to be terrible. I'm not judging Chris Pratt whatsoever. I'm just merely judging the decision of not using a voice actor that was already in play. You know, personally, I've been a Mario fan since, you know, the old Nintendo Entertainment System. Mario's the reason why I bought any new system. You know, I loved all the Mario games. And that's my crutch. Whenever they come out with a new system, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to get it. But then they come up with a damn new Mario game, and fuck, I got to get it again. And when I had a chance to meet Charles Martinet, I was awestruck, you know. And actually, I have a little clip here, and this was awesome. This made my day.
Hello, Super Leo. Hello, Super Kevin. Hello, Super John. It's me, Mario. Yahoo! Mamma mia. You guys, you number one. Ha ha!
And you know, even the Mario cartoons, I love them, and it was, you know, a similar.
So you had huge issues with Captain Lou Albano as Mario.
Oh no, because it was before Charles Martinet.
Yeah.
A little bit of a double standard there, Leo. That's kind of the point I'm making. Yeah. So, like, let me ask you this: you look back fondly on Captain Lou Albano as Mario in the Super Mario Brothers Power Hour? Do you?
When I was a kid, I enjoyed it.
But it's not the voice actor from the video game, Leo. How can it be good if it's not the voice actor from the? Do you see the point I'm making?
Oh yeah.
Not just for you, but for anybody else out there that may be watching or listening, or what have you. Like, like we have to remember that this is just this iteration of the
that
character.
was also before the video game had voices. It was
precisely.
He didn't get the voice until the Nintendo
64
version.
Yeah.
It had that little face you can turn around and pinch his cheeks and.
Well, Leo, maybe you just hate Chris Pratt. Do you hate Chris Pratt?
I don't hate Chris Pratt. I didn't see it.
There's a little trepidation in your voice there. There's something there, though.
I think it's more speaking more to like you don't want to say like Chris Pratt is like one of the best performers out there, because personally, like I really liked him on Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I think that's his best work, to be honest.
Oh, I absolutely, and I will say it speaks highly to his comedic skill and how much people generally and genuinely liked him on the set of that show and what have you, because he was supposed to be an absolute scumbag character that was going to get written off. And he was so like organically funny. He just got it. And they liked him. He was fun to have on set. He was a nice guy that they decided, no, we're not getting rid of him. We're gonna retool his character and have him develop into something else. And that's why he stayed on. Mike Schur himself actually said that the funniest line on the entire show he hates because he didn't write it. It was an ad lib by Chris Pratt, and he wishes he could take credit for it. And it's an episode where Leslie is sick, and the camera shows her walking out, and it just stays focused on Andy at his desk, and he's got his short sleeves with his tie on. He's at the computer. He goes, Leslie, I typed in your symptoms to the computer, and it says you may have network connectivity problems. Like that's the kind of like ad libbing and the kind of set that they fostered throughout the production. And then, I mean, to follow him with James Gunn and do Guardians of the Galaxy, he hit a niche right there, and it worked well. I think since Guardians of the Galaxy, we've yet to see him in a movie role that brings him past like the smirking, maybe a little dumber than you would have initially thought smartass.
Yeah.
If he can break past that, then let's see the proving grounds. But this is Super Mario. I mean, we want it to be great because we have a lot of nostalgia for it. There's a lot of kids out there that know Mario because he's been omnipresent for their entire existences. So it's likely going to be a bit of a touchstone for younger generations too. I don't think it's going to do anybody any good to like worry about the high art of this movie and how Chris Pratt's casting has affected it one way or another until they've actually seen the thing for themselves. I would say the complaints about Sonic, insofar as he looked, completely legitimate. You know what I mean?
And that was
they spun it around. But here's the thing: for an entire generation, maybe generation and a half, why did they pick Ben Schwartz to voice Sonic? How come it wasn't Jaleel White? I never heard anybody complain about that.
Well, I don't think Sonic's voice actor was as well known as Charles Martinet.
A lot of kids who grew up watching Sonic the Hedgehog were very well aware of who.
I think they were more
voicing
hyper
him.
focused on Sonic's first design for the movie than they were about the voice.
Yeah, but this is a culture that likes to rip fucking shit like this, like meat off of a carcass.
Yeah.
But in Ben Schwartz's defense, he has done quite a bit of voiceover.
Absolutely, but we are still talking about replacing an original voice actor with a new voice actor.
Well,
Ben Schwartz is definitely a known comedian and actor as well.
And to be honest, if I was as invested in Sonic as I am Mario, chances are I would have had a issue with that. And again, I'm not putting down.
How much did you invest in him?
Well, if they kept the continuity of voice acting for Sonic because they had Colleen O'Shaughnessy as the voice of Tails in Sonic 2.
Oh, hey, can I be honest about something? It wasn't until I was 40 years old that because I always just called him Tails. Remember, I never owned a Genesis growing up, so I only played the games like over my friend's house. Sonic and Tails, right? It wasn't until I was 40 years old that I got the fucking pun. That I got the pun of his name. Do you know what Tails' name is?
No.
And once I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's his name. And then I actually said it out loud. I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. His name is Miles Tails Prower. Miles Prower. No?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah. Talking about whizzing right by. I was like miles per hour.
So
I'm mostly mad because I didn't think of it myself, but like, god damn.
So just want to set the record straight one last time. No issue with Chris Pratt whatsoever. My only issue is with them changing the voice actor. With Sonic, like I said, if I was invested in Sonic, I wasn't a big Sonic player. I played the first one. I didn't really go past that. Chances are I would have had an issue with that,
So Leo, if it was another popular voice actor, but not Chris Pratt, would you still have a problem with it? Or would then it be okay?
I think
Comic Talk with Pops Van Sant commented. He said, hey, yo.
Hey, Pops Van Sant. I think I would, because you have... It all goes down to like Scooby.
So it's really the nostalgia of the voice of the video game for you.
I don't think the
Hey, sorry, I just got to cut in real quick. I just got a message from Sammy on Facebook, Steve. And Leo, she said to me, straight up, since you aren't seeing comments, she put up a picture of Batman slapping Robin. You guys know the one.
Yeah.
And Robin saying, we'll just fix it in post. Fix it now! Thank you, Sam. Hiya, Sammy. How you doing? Welcome to another fun-filled episode here at the Dorkening.
I think it is, if a character is, has a job, not a character. If a voice actor has a job with a certain character, I would imagine, or I would like for them, if they do a good enough job, to stick with that actor. And it all boils down to how they treated, I can't remember the guy's name, with Scooby-Doo, where he essentially got fired, over Twitter.
Welker? Was it Frank Welker?
No.
The guy from 13 Ghosts?
Matthew Lillard?
Yeah,
Matthew Lillard.
Yep.
Hold on, wait. Are you talking about him replacing someone or being replaced?
He was replaced.
He was replaced over Twitter.
All right. How upset are we getting over Matthew Lillard being replaced as Shaggy? I mean, he wasn't even the fucking second guy who did Shaggy's voice.
No, but he did it he was like the current generation of Shaggy.
Yeah, but shit happens.
Yeah,
Casts
change.
I mean, this is a fucking cartoon that's been on for 50-something years.
Oh yeah, and I totally get that.
It's not like we're replacing Mel Blanc every single time.
No, but to fire him over Twitter, that's
yeah. But once again, that's an actor who came in and took over somebody's voice acting role. So aren't we in the same sphere that we were just talking about with Chris Pratt?
Fine.
I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna talk about them, like let's talk about the totality of it.
Oh yeah.
Matthew Lillard never did voice work. He legitimately, I heard him in a panel at Rock and Shock talk about when he went to audition for the role of Shaggy, and he had no idea how to make his voice sound like this man. He had no clue. He went into his car and he screamed and screeched at the top of his lungs for about 5 to 10 minutes. So when he walked in, he was like, hey, I'm Matthew Lillard, and I'm here to audition for Shaggy. And they were like, what did you do to yourself? And they were like, you sound like pretty good, but if you keep that up, you're gonna completely rip your throat out. Let us show you how to do voices instead. and they trained him how to do it. So he didn't even walk in there with a natural talent for it.
No, but he learned, and he was Shaggy for like 13 years.
Yeah, okay. And Casey Kasem was Shaggy for like 25. You know, granted, I wasn't exactly heartbroken not hearing Shaggy anymore and thinking that I was about to hear the top 20. So that's a plus. Like, here's number 3 across the country. But the fact of the matter is, like, those are roles that can easily be filled by other folks, and Shaggy especially, because that is a voice. I mean, for Christ's sake, I just did it. Like, people can do Shaggy's voice. It's not going to be something where they necessarily have to reinvent the wheel when a new actor comes in each time. But yeah, listen, it's you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. It seems to me like a lot of people have made up their mind already about this particular production, and that's fine. More power to you. If that's the way you want to live your life, you do you, boo-boo. I'm not going to fucking stop you. Yeah, I'm just here to try to speak a little, hopefully a little bit of reason, and if you can kind of understand what I'm talking about, just take a beat. Take a breath. You know, just calm down. Remember, there are lots of coffee brands out there that are decaffeinated and taste just as good as the real thing. You can slow your roll just for a minute, okay? I think this is a
like
very
the guy on your shirt
thing.
says one coffee brand.
Dude, I love this shirt. It's
a coffee brand.
It's a play on Stranger Things.
Counting
that's cool.
things.
Counting things. Do you know why they call me the Count? Because I love to count. I love the Count. But but yeah, like, this just seems like a strange thing to get up in arms about this early on too. I mean, this is not R. Lee Ermey in Full Metal Jacket screaming what your major malfunction is to this. I mean, it shouldn't be. We should probably just let cooler heads prevail, but I'm probably screaming into the fucking void. I understand.
Well,
it's like trying to get hate out of fandom is like trying to empty the fucking ocean with a thimble.
I hope it does well. You know, from I mean, it's Mario. It's gonna do well. You know,
I'm sure
and
now they'll drop another trailer. They'll give you a little bit more to give him a little more
yeah.
taste of what flavor he's rolling with.
Yeah,
probably mushroom flavor, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Or Tortuga soup.
In other video,
Captain Jack Sparrow. God damn it.
In other video game news, real quick, looks like The Witcher 3 remaster is going to be coming out maybe end of this month.
Oh, finally.
No.
No, why not?
I'm not a fan of that series.
All right.
Okay.
Steve just turned into the fucking black and white fight scene from Kill Bill for a second there. No. Like, oh, I don't think he cares or likes it. Oh,
no. He left.
I didn't mean to offend you, Steve. Come back. We love you.
I started playing Witcher 3. It's a really good game, but pardon me. I think I'm gonna wait till the remaster to finish playing. You know, because the graphics are definitely dated, but the story is excellent. Game mechanics are pretty good. It's a decent RPG. So yeah, I'll fill you in when it comes out.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah,
I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I eventually hook up a PlayStation 5. That'll be
Thought
fun.
you were getting one.
Yeah, a lot of people think a lot of things, Steve. Fuck, dude.
Well, they do have a new model
again.
They re-released the PlayStation 5. There's a new model out.
Of course there is, which means I probably getting the fucking dusty old model. Oh, crap.
Nothing wrong with a dusty old model anyway.
That's the spirit, Leo. Fucking Mr. Sunshine. I bet people tune into the Dorkening for their daily dose of optimism. Nothing is ever like just honestly bad in Leo's world. Like, you find the sunshiny, like, silver lining of everything. Like, no, I didn't think it was that. You know, They had some problems, but there was these 3 things I liked about it. I'm like, fuck, dude, I couldn't even get one thing I liked about it. Good for you, man. I don't agree with any of them, but good for you.
Speaking of liking things, Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night. Anybody else make that joke when you talked about it before? No, just me. We've all seen Young Frankenstein, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank God. I still have to get my wife to see it. Oh yeah, and here's the best part: the fucking kicker to the fact that she's never seen the movie Young Frankenstein. One, her father grew up she grew up here. Her father is a huge fan of Mel Brooks. He had all the movies. It was one of the things that he and I were able to like connect on, like old comedies and stuff like that. My father was also a Mel Brooks nut, so I grew up with all of those movies. She's never seen the majority of them. She's probably seen Robin Hood Men in Tights more than anything else.
Oh.
And on our honeymoon, we went to York, Maine, and we ended up going to the Algonquin Playhouse and seeing Young Frankenstein, the musical, the play that was written with new music by Mel Brooks. They got the sets from the Broadway production for the Algonquin Playhouse. It was a very, very well done production. Also found out that the director of the entire like Playhouse and what have you, he is friends with like one of my longtime friends' moms. Like as soon as she heard that I went there when we came back from our honeymoon, she was like, "Oh, did you meet Brad?" I was like, "What?" Like, really, it's such a small world. But a lot of people have played through the Algonquin Playhouse. Cesar Romero was one of the first one I saw on the wall. Very cool. It was pretty dope to see that.
Nice.
But yeah, it's sort of like it was a nice working hiatus for a lot of actors. They work on TV and movies and what have you, and then they'd go up to the Northeast and they play in like these play productions and just kind of take a breather from the actual like show business kind of thing, which is like your way of relaxing was doing a play for fucking 8 weeks out of the summer. You're insane.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the private chat, but I have to go because the internet here is fucked up. So I'm gonna go. But I'm just gonna say my closing shit out now. You can follow Super Retro Throwback Reviews on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all that good stuff. The links in the show notes. Sorry for not being on as much as I should be tonight.
No worries.
Ah, that's good, man.
That's what happens when your boss fucks up your schedule. I'll see you all next week.
All right, bud.
Have a good night.
It's
Have a good one.
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Roller.
she's never seen the movie. She watched the musical play with me, me knowing full well that she had never seen the movie, and we are going to be married for a decade, and I still have not pressed upon her that she needs to watch that flick.
Yeah, Abby Normal.
Abby someone. Abby who? Normal. Yeah, Abby Normal.
Oh my God.
He was brilliant. His timing.
Marty Feldman. Oh,
yeah.
Fucking great. I ain't got nobody. And the eyes, man. Oh
yeah.
I'm telling you, if you're really into Mel Brooks and you might not be super familiar with all of his stuff. I mean, there's a lot of the ones that are known just right off that, like Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Spaceballs. But one of the ones I absolutely fell in love with as a kid, like it fucking floored me, and it's so brilliant because it's the 80s, you know, or maybe late 70s. Silent movie. It is him, Marty Feldman, and Dom DeLuise.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's just he's basically parodying himself, trying to get a cast and producers together, like enough money and everything to make a movie. But it's silent, like it's done with the cards and everything. One person in the entire movie talks that you hear. And I'm not going to tell you who it is if you haven't seen it, because to tell you would absolutely ruin the joke about the one person that talks. It's brilliant, because I've I've never heard this person talk in anything else ever. So make of that what you will. But yeah. So Werewolf by Night, that's how this started. Was on Disney Plus. It premiered last week as a Disney. Was it a Marvel special? Was that what it?
Marvel special presentation.
Presentation. Yeah, and
yeah, it was very cool. The you had the beginning entrance shot, your typical Marvel entrance shot, and then all of a sudden you had the slashes, and then it all went black and white.
Yeah, and not just black and white, but the Marvel Studios logo, the full horizontal logo, in black and white. It started to have electricity shoot through it, much like the diodes and the I can't remember the stupid coil things that they're called. It's a cool name. No. But yeah, Tesla invented them, but I can't remember what it's called.
Tesla coil.
The Tesla
Was
coil.
it a Tesla coil? Yeah, you're right. Tesla coil, stupid. But yeah, like the electricity starts, and it's very, very reminiscent of James Whale's Frankenstein. Like straight away, they really hit hard for like the Universal and Hammer iconography, and I thought they did a great job with it.
Yeah, I mean, even like some of the close-ups and you see like the light just over the eyes, and they did a fabulous job filming it.
I honestly was. I'm sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the whole monster transformation in Shadow felt also very universal monsters, and I really enjoyed the fact that they kept his tribal markings on his face as Jack, also as the werewolf when he finally transformed.
The transformation scene was all in one shot.
Wow.
Really?
That was not CGI.
That was all shadow, huh?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
It was multiple people at different points in the light.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Because while I was watching it, I also was reminded of like Fleischer's Superman. It made me think of that rotoscope style of animation that he utilized for it, and especially with the black and white being used, the monochrome. For me, full on, I was like, whoa, like that looks Fleischer-esque. I wonder if they like animated that. Like, I thought that it wasn't CGI, but I did think it was animated. I thought they went for that because they were really going like into a deep dive on the style that they were paying an homage to. Because to have something look incredibly CGI animated, especially like shadows changing, transforming like that, would just not jibe with what they were cultivating at that moment. And quite frankly, like, it goes to show you that the depth of those shadows that they used, the strength of the light as they were shifting through the people partaking of the transformation sequence. I mean, it was so richly shot and composed that it seemed to be an animation that they added after the fact.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I honest to God would have thought they rotoscoped that. Wow. Good for them. I was also very impressed that they kept like a very, very traditional Wolfman look to Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to Jack after he transformed. So very, very reminiscent of the original creature designs, like that, and like Michael Landon in I Was a Teenage Werewolf. That very classic Wolfman look. I honestly thought that we were going to see like more of a snout, beastly type character. And really, when you boil it down, it makes more sense that they do that, because you can actually have somebody inhabit the character and they'd be able to more fully emote and just generally act better, because you need to ground such a seemingly preposterous concept in as much realism as possible, and you do that through characterization. And having details like his tribal tattoos still being there was like you said, Rich, that was icing on the cake. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting because we didn't just to remind you, when you first came into this episode, we don't realize which person is Jack. As far as being the werewolf, but he gives you a clue when he meets that first big hunter who ends up saying that he's lonely. because he's like, oh, I can almost smell the blood on your skin, because his canine sense.
That big Scottish dude that was there.
That guy.
I recognized him right away. Like it was so fucked up. Like we were watching it, and I paused it, and I looked at my wife and I said, "I think I know who that guy is."
From
She was like,
Spidey or from Star Trek?
I didn't know he was in Spider-Man.
Okay.
But yeah, I turned to her, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the fucking punk with the boombox from Star Trek. She was like, what? I was like, yeah, in like The Voyage Home, and then later on in Picard, when they come across the same guy later on.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that
which is the whales episode for those that don't remember them by title.
I'm not caught up on Picard. He comes back?
Oh yeah, it's a throwaway gag. Yeah, it's on a bus, dude. He's got a fucking boombox. He's just older, you know what I mean? But
do they ask where the nuclear vessels are?
No, because it's not any of the original crew, Leo. I mean, I know you said you're not caught up with Picard, but you do realize that he's alive much later than them, right? You have seen other Star Trek things. I know that.
Maybe.
No. Yeah. I don't think so. Is that the one that J. Michael Straczynski wrote? No, you know it's not.
That's the one with the laser swords, right?
Yep,
yeah, laser sword. Exactly.
Yes, phaser swords. I think that's why they always call the stun. But yeah, that guy, he who plays the Scottish guy in Werewolf by Night, he is the punk in Star Trek. Was it 4?
Star Trek 4, and in Spider-Man Homecoming, he plays a hippie dude with a boombox.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. When he's standing next to the hot dog vendor that yells up, "Do a trick!"
Fuck out of here. All right, I'll look it up later. I'll take your word for it, I guess. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear about some actor? He's like a minor actor, but he was like stuffing Golden Age comics up his shirt.
Oh yeah. Where the hell was it? Was it Arizona or something? No. Maybe it was California, but yeah, some like guy who's essentially a glorified extra and shit. They straight up have him on video shoving a bunch of like old, I don't know if they were Golden Age or what, but like clearly comics that were probably worth more than they were when they came out. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like shoving them in his shirt and down his pants and stuff, trying to like walk out of the store with them. It's like,
yeah. So, Entertainment Weekly is saying actor Ray Buffer accused of stealing $600 worth of comics. And let's see, it is the police are investigating incident. Ray Buffer, an actor who had a minor role in Bullet Train, American Gigolo, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, has been accused of stealing $600 worth of comics from a store in San Diego.
Wow.
People getting desperate.
Yeah.
People need to still learn why it is that comics are worth money.
Yeah.
You know, if I tell you, if there hadn't been a boom of people buying anything that was shiny in the 90s, the stuff he stole might have been worth $2,000. You know, it's like, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of these and then I'm going to pay for my kids' college. Oh, yeah? Do you plan on there being like another world war that we are forced to recycle everything in and then just having mothers throw their kids' shit out constantly without any regard of how much they like them? No, not really. Why? Oh, because that's the reason why the comics that you're referencing that are worth lots of money are worth lots of money. I mean,
Brandon, you mean the 20 issues I have of when Superman got killed have no value? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I'm saying they have very little value because you're so stupid.
What about?
They're not valueless. They just only are worth about $10 more at most in prime condition than they were when you bought it. And in 1992 or 1991, considering that book went for $4.95, that would be like spending $13.95 on a single issue comic book nowadays.
So basically, it's not a good
You may
return on my
if you
investment.
sold it, you'd make $2. That's what I'm
All
telling
right.
you.
20 times though, god damn it.
Oh yeah.
That's $40.
Woo!
Nice.
So what about the 45 copies of X-Men #1 I have?
You could probably burn 43 of them. Like if you run out of toilet paper and you're in a real pinch, you got at least 43 issues of that you can go through. I mean, I know it'd be rough, literally and figuratively.
You've got some wallpaper for for man cave.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You got liner for the inside of a bird's cage. Get yourself a parakeet. You decide to
Poor Jim Lee's work.
Yeah, but to make up for it, I also do have 8 copies of Amazing Spider-Man 361.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you and I have very different definitions of the term "making up for it." But yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm so glad you have 6 more of that issue than you really need. Like, I understand
I was a teenager,
the base collector instinct of like buy one to keep, buy one to read. I get it. I'm old school. I understand how it goes. But on the other side of it, at this point, I'm just more concerned about having the stuff I have, and if I'm able to like hand it off to somebody much later in life that truly wants it, will make good use of it, then good. I'm glad I was able to save this collection. I'm not gonna sell anything ever. Like, why the fuck do I care about read and store? Like, it's all store. So, and now I don't even have the physical space for it anymore. So,
No.
thanks, Amazon.
I totally admit, being a teenager,
yeah, we were all teenagers. I think we all have to admit that, right? It's not like,
at the time,
Mr. Powers, were you ever a teenager? No comment.
So I admit when I was a teenager that yes, I was part of the problem that caused the the comic book crash of the 90s.
It was me. Sorry, boys.
Thanks, Leo.
It all started with that Silver Surfer number 50, and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. I'm gonna buy 13 copies of it.
Was that the metallic?
But like, my fucking god, dude, how much did 13 copies of that cost you? $13 at that point?
Dude, I was in high school while also working like too many hours that a teenager should still in school. And I was spending like my entire paycheck on comics.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why wouldn't you spend your entire paycheck on different books? Like, you could have bought other things instead of 13 copies of that book. Like, you could have gotten 1, maybe 2 copies of it, and then there's $11 just in that one transaction that you could have just blown on any other shit that you could have afforded with that money. And then when you were a kid, that was probably a quarter of the store. So what gives, Leo? I don't. You're not a business dork. I can tell you that.
well, Leo, that's even interesting because, like, in my young 20s, like once every couple of months, I would just go buy one book somewhere between $75 and $100 value, thinking long term. But you were just buying a bunch of single new books. Yeah. My thought process was to buy, just the regular book for my comics, but to buy one thing that could be an investment book.
Would you like this one $20 bill? Or would you like these 5 $1 bills? 1 and 5. Oh, I'll take 5. Good decision making.
But it didn't really matter because during my divorce, I gave them away for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, no.
Christ.
I totally admit that, like, I probably, it's a good thing I don't gamble because, that's.
Sounds like you kind of did, pal.
Well, exactly. Just rolling the dice. Will this comic go up in value? No.
See, it's funny because like I said, my growing up, it was always just making sure that they were kept well enough so that they could be read again numerous times in the future. Like, just making sure you take care of it because you want to read it because it's something you care about, and that's that. I had the value of comic books explained to me by my dad when I was about 7 years old, like before we moved out of Boston. And he's the one that straight up said to me, he's like, the reason why these things are valued so highly, they're worth so much money, is because a lot of kids weren't able to save them, so they're rare. A lot of kids would fold them up and put them into the backs of their pockets, and they'd get beat up. Their mothers would see them lying around, and it would be last week's trash, and they'd just sweep it into the rubbish bin. We back during World War II and Korea, the country was very into recycling as many materials as we could, paper and metal. And a lot of times those things would get sent to get pulped and made into other products. And who could blame anybody? But that's the way time works, is because people are nostalgic for those types of things now, and it's hard to find them. That makes it worth their time and money to eventually come across one. And if it's in good condition, even better, you'll get more money for it. But if you have a bunch of people now who are aware of that, and they go out and just buy comics and never get rid of them, not even buy a bunch of them, but never get rid of them, that means everybody has it. So it's not that rare. So even if everybody bought one copy of the thing that you are hoping will be worth something in the future, it will not be worth that much because everybody else is doing the same exact thing. And from that moment on, I was like, okay, so I take care of these for me. Fuck it. If I'm buying these, I have to set myself, I have to set my mindset to, these are mine in perpetuity. There's no reason to spend too much money on these things, and there's no reason to think that I'm going to make a small fortune. And I have 36 years of comic books in approximately 28 long boxes in my basement right now, right next to the dehumidifier.
I totally get that. And, I totally know, like, my brain was not fully developed as a kid. But like the books I collect now, I'm only collecting stuff that, that I really care about. Like, I'm just focusing, like, right now on the Batman runs, So it's where before I was just like buying something because it had a cool cover, or,
Now you just buy it because it has Batman on it.
Yeah. or a Lee Bermejo cover, but back when I was a kid, I mean, pretty much the only books I read were, Spider-Man and Batman, but I picked up X-Men and Silver Surfer and Punisher. I did read a little bit of Punisher.
Okay.
War Journals back, by the way, for some reason.
Oh,
War Journal.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, that was a magazine size when it came out, I believe.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people, Brandon. I
am not surprised. I knew you were going to say that. Honest to God.
In day camp, Hulk 181 got destroyed. I am one of the reasons why there are one less Hulk 181 in the world. And of course, at the time, I had no idea of what it would be today. But
hey,
it is what it is. These things happen.
Don't beat yourself up, pal. We all have pretty rough. And then I could have been a rich geek stories. My own father was, like I said, he was an OG. He was an original geek, and he was the youngest of 5, and my grandfather was killed during the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. Whom my grandmother was 2 months pregnant with my dad when my grandfather was killed. So he never met his dad. Being the youngest of 5, my Nana never threw any of my dad's stuff away. And my dad was a teeny tiny little dork. He loved sci-fi and comic books and everything. And right around the time that Marvel comics started to become very popular, counterculture. My dad was 16 years old. He was exactly that, like, middle teenage age where people were looking at Spider-Man and the X-Men and the Incredible Hulk and stuff.
Was
and exactly that, like, those are different, And he bought Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. He loved all of them, and as well as Superman and Batman and Shazam. He kept so many old Phantom strips and stuff too. Like Phantom was his favorite character of all time. And my grandmother had a trailer up in New Hampshire, and they would go there every year for weeks at a time in the summer. And they decided to move all my dad's stuff out from the house in Charlestown in Boston up to the trailer when he went into the Air Force. And so my dad comes out a few years later. He finishes his tour and everything, and he hadn't quite gotten around to going up to New Hampshire to get all this stuff and bring it back down because he was still trying to figure out his space. And the whole thing caught on fire.
Oh.
And burned every single toy and comic book that my grandmother had kept for my father for his entire childhood to the ground. And my cousins who are older than me, my dad started late. They told, like, I used to kind of think it was bull, honestly. Like, I thought it was BS. But it turns out my dad had actually managed to get a couple boxes of comics before all was said and done. And my cousin Billy and my cousin John both straight up said to me, like, "Oh my God." I remember sitting down listening to your dad. Listen, my dad's name was Hugh. And for the longest time when he was a kid, they called him Baby Huey. And it got shortened to Babe when he was a teenager. So all my cousins know my dad as Uncle Babe. And they were just like, "Oh, yeah." We'd be sitting there listening to Uncle Babe's 45s. Those are records for some of you younger folks out there if you don't understand. 45 rotations per minute is a smaller. Anyway, they were like, "Yeah, we listen to 45s," and we'd go through and read all those old Spider-Man and Hulk and Fantastic Four books. Oh my God, he had like every single one too. And I'm like, "What the hell? What?" And they were like, "Yeah, like your dad had like Fantastic Four 1 up to like 40 something, and like a whole shitload of Spider-Man, and Hulk was awesome." And I'm like, "It was real. It was all real. It all happened." And that's when reality like set in. I'm like, I didn't even care about the money really. I was like, I could have had like so many awesome old Marvel comics. That would have been fucking great. There's always those and then fate intervenes stories, man.
Absolutely.
I have to apologize. I'm still learning this new software. But apparently there is a unified chat area.
There is a unified chat area. I don't know.
That's what they call it. So I can't see who's chatting, but I can see the chats.
That's wonderful, Leo.
Yeah. Somebody says I love Werewolf by Night. It was a classic, and I love Ted in the show. He was the show stealer. LOL. Leo has been Star Trekking. LOL. Not just one store. Other stores have come forward. That's probably the thief. So it's probably not. So I'm assuming they're saying more than one store was robbed. And
okay.
Tom Morris Jr. Happy Wednesday to the #1 show on Wednesday night. So thank you, Tom. So I apologize for missing those.
Dude, so how is this supposed to work now? So we can't see messages as we're doing this, Leo?
I'll figure it out.
So Leo, I didn't know till last night that Corey Jones played Ted, as well as Black Carissa Thin in Book of Boba.
Yes,
and, he was in Predators as well.
Yep. Yeah, he's a stunt actor, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
Wow.
But he definitely seems to be honing in on creatures.
Yeah, totally.
Fair enough. I mean, I wonder what the mocap was like for that, though.
Yeah.
But
they did a great job. I thought the CGI on Ted was really remarkable, and I thought the underlying backstory was that sometimes people are more monstrous than monsters.
It turns out the real monsters were the hunters all along.
Yes.
Okay, so
the real monsters were the friends we made along the. Nope, that's not it.
So looking at Kerry Jones, he has quite an extensive filmography. Makeup department. He has quite a bit. Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire.
That's the one where people just go there whenever they argue, and then they have to like apologize to one another. That's right. Oh, I thought for sure that was gonna get a womp womp.
Oh, he did. He worked on Dexter's New Blood, a bunch of The Walking Dead, New Mutants.
One of the actors from Dexter New Blood was in and I believe helped produce the Athena Finger Lenny Schwartz play Bill Finger Rise of the Bat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Did you guys watch Dexter New Blood?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the forensic scientist that came in. That came like bursting out of the van and everything. Yeah, his name is Aaron Andrade. I've met him a couple times. He's a really, really nice guy. Really talented.
Nice.
He can be funny and dramatic. And dramatic is the easier of those two. He has really, really like great timing. He was in a movie. I'm sure Philip Perrone from. Oh my God, I feel so bad. I can't remember.
Dark Discussions.
Dark Discussions. Thank you. I would want to say Dark Shadows in the worst way. Dark Discussions podcast. I'm sure he's seen it. 7 Dorms of Death, made by Richard Griffin. Richard Griffin. Oh my God, dude! It's like it's so purposefully bad. It starts off like this is a lost episode of a terrible midnight, midnight showing on one of those old horror like host shows. And it's like Baron Von Blood. It's so fucking deliberately ridiculous that it's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. And Aaron Andrade, he chews more scenery than anybody else, and he knows what he's doing. So even though everyone's doing the same shit, he's on a completely other level. Like he made a much different, funnier movie than an already funny movie occurring. So if you get the chance, 7 Dorms of Death, I do highly recommend it.
Nice. So my apologies. He's only done 2 stunts. Well, 2 shows. He did Creep Show and Captive State. But he's done a lot of acting work, including Teen Wolf. And Teen Wolf is getting a movie. So is that going to be Teen Wolf the movie, the series, the movie?
Teen Wolf the series, the movie 2, Where I Go Again. WERE. Where we go again. There we go. Where we go again.
So that kind of like falls in the line of like Street Fighter 2, the movie, the game, the movie.
Oh my God. Turbo.
Or there was also Wing Commander did it as well. It was like when I was selling video games, it was like Wing Commander Part 2, expansion disc number 3, Part B or something. Some crazy shit. Yeah, it was right when it was like before DLC, and they sold expansion packs for games.
Oh,
and,
expansion packs.
Yeah, Wing Commander 2 was a big hit, and they kept on making expansion packs.
Was it Mark Hamill in those?
He was in started with number 4. I don't know if he was in number 5.
All right, that's as much as I know about them. Look, we've reached the limit of my knowledge of that particular franchise. And like, I think I did all right. I recognize it's a video game, and Mark Hamill was in it at some point.
He was.
I'm counting that. That's a win for me. All right, it's on the board.
What else did we have for tonight?
What an excellent question. For what else did we have?
Oh, people are freaking out because of like people don't freak out.
Yeah, right. It's been how like every one of these fucking conversations has started tonight. People are freaking out. Okay, so it must be a day that ends in Y in Fanland.
So somebody did a poster just like as a art piece of Zelda for a movie or a series.
Let me guess, she's black.
No,
No.
it looks like Tom Holland. Is that what you're gonna say?
I think so. Let me see.
I think I covered this on one of the episodes that you were out, Leo.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like 3 weeks old.
Revealing all-star cast starring Tom Holland. Oh no, it was Emma Watson as Zelda.
Oh, okay. So
So that's an art piece. I thought it was an actual movie that was happening. No,
no, it's fan art.
Yeah.
Somebody made use that AI art thing, and
sure.
it's they were like, AI, show me Tom Holland as Link from The Legend of Zelda, and it like had it do like a script for it too, and but like he's gay and blah blah, and Ganon's the bad guy, and it's just like it's goofy as fuck. But the artwork that it put out for it was what everybody's been seeing, where it's like, oh, Tom Holland would be perfect to play Link, which I must admit, were they to do a live action version of The Legend of Zelda, that's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, it is.
That is a pretty good pick.
And even Emma Watson as Zelda.
The only other person, honestly, that I would go with, like in regards to casting Link in this fantasy world where they're making this movie / series, if they didn't have Tom Holland, it might sound weird on the face of it, but if you really think about it, Taron Egerton.
Oh yeah, totally.
I could totally see Taron Egerton doing it, and I actually find him maybe a little bit more believable as just kind of like a little bit more mischievous than Tom Holland, and I feel like that should be maybe something you look for a little bit in the small dude with pointy ears who flings a sword at anything and everything that moves.
Yeah. I saw a stupid
dude. Here's a Twitch in a cave and he's fucking shooting silver arrows like nobody's business. Like, yeah, I'm just saying.
Danny DeVito is Tangled. That's hilarious. They had to be trolling. There was one idiot comment. It was something like, now they've gone and done it, or something like that. Why'd they have to go and make Zelda a woman?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that complaint in the past. People are very, very stupid.
Yeah, it's either stupid or trolling,
Wait till they realize that Link is like not Zelda, and then they revisit the title of the Super Nintendo game. It's going to make so much more sense to them now. Wait a minute, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Oh my god, it's like an onion. It has so many layers, guys.
I need to see if
this bird's eye view game is really blowing my mind, man.
We did I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. We did a skit where we remade the old Zelda rap.
What? Zelda what?
The Zelda rap?
Zelda rap?
You don't know the Zelda rap?
I mean, I understand the two words you're saying individually, but when you mush them together like that and say it like a thing I'm supposed to know, I'm even more confused.
Like, my name is Link and I came to say.
Wow.
I don't know what he's coming to say. I've never played the video game. Sorry.
I'm Eileen, and I'm a content creator.
We'll probably get shut down for this, but
oh, that's then don't show it.
This Nintendo newsletter. Whoa! Did you see the latest Nintendo newsletter? Whoa! Nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game. You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System. It's The Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad.
Okay.
Tech levers too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link. Get Zelda. Awesome. Intense. The Nintendo
Okay. That is a very old commercial, which I have seen before. Not once in my life have I ever thought of that as the Zelda rap. Not once. It's always been like, oh yeah, that stupid Zelda commercial where they rap. Like, it's a subtle difference, but it's very distinct. I mean, I've certainly heard the song that everybody thinks System of a Down did, which, I mean, admittedly, it does sound like the lead singer of System of a Down, but he just like sings and does the whole thing to the tune of the Zelda theme. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna find it and play it for you because I'm not gonna risk getting booted like Leo just did, all precarious and shit.
Sorry.
Muy peligroso.
He's a rebel, that Leo.
Oh, that Leo. So yeah, I mean,
there was boy.
So yeah, I mean, there was other stuff that happened too that we could probably touch upon here. But Werewolf by Night, everybody seems to be clamoring for more Man Thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll see. I like that they brought those characters in, they introduced them, and we know they're out there now, so they can be utilized at some point in the future. I don't think we should necessarily count on a Man Thing centric production.
No, with Blade getting pushed forward another 6 months to a year, it's going to be a long time till we see the Midnight Sun. So we may not see Man Thing again until 2028.
Yeah, and not just Blade either. They're doing it with a few of their movies. So we'll see what Marvel has to offer on the supernatural side of things. I know people have some high hopes for certain aspects to be prevalent, such as like Midnight Suns and what have you, whatever incarnation of such a pact may be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a lot that still has yet to be revealed. You think about it, we've really only gotten Doctor Strange, WandaVision, Wanda, and now this, with a smattering of it at the tail end of Eternals. There's no place to go but up, and just because there are certain projects that people want to see right away doesn't mean we're not going to get other things that very well fall into that subgenre within Marvel Studios, the supernatural superhero stories. The next one that I'm sure people are going to start asking a lot of questions about is Ghost Rider. Would not be surprised by that.
Hey, as long as they get Nick Cage back.
Yep, that's certainly a sentence. I don't know that Nick Cage needs to come back for that at all. And that's not a knock on Nick Cage. It's just another one of those things where it's like, they're going to want somebody to play the role for 10 to 12 years. And I don't think they're going to be looking at anybody at like age 60 to do that.
Yeah, I think they've moved on from Johnny Blaze. I think it's Robbie Reyes at this point is the main Ghost Rider.
We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. Honestly, I have no dog in that fight, no horse in that race. I know very cursory knowledge of Ghost Rider. I was never that into his comics or story altogether. I have like some of the basics down, and that was fine for me. Enough to recognize who the character was and what he's capable of when he shows up in whatever. Perfect.
Does that mean we're getting Mephisto?
Well, I mean, at some point, it's very likely. I honestly, I know I've said it before, but I really don't think that anyone should count on Mephisto being a presence until the Fantastic Four has been set up and has also revealed the Negative Zone. I feel as though that's a large piece of that puzzle, where Marvel will very, very likely show how magic and science can sometimes be the same thing. Like really illustrate only what was said briefly in the first Thor movie.
So I have it's a semi-funny Ghost Rider story.
Okay.
Being a teenager collecting all sorts of comics, I woke up one night to see a floating, flaming skull in my bedroom. Scared the shit out of me. I didn't realize the cover was glow in the dark.
That's fantastic. Oh, you must have had to change your pants. Holy shit.
So you had Ghost Rider glow in the dark bed sheets?
No, it was the
Mama, Papa, Ghost Rider scared me in the dark. He's the one that left these skid marks in my drawers.
He gave me the penance stare. It wasn't my fault.
It was a issue of Ghost Rider where they made the cover glow in the dark. It was a glow in the dark skull.
I was just standing on a shelf and you were freaking out.
Yep.
Got it.
It's the scariest part was there was 12 of them that was staring back at him, glowing in the dark. He was like, "Oh no, it doesn't! Flaming skulls! I'm doomed! Oh, it's just Ghost Rider. I'm fine now. I bought those earlier today. Good night, Ghost Riders. Thanks for watching over me. Who needs a nightlight when I have these 12 Ghost Rider glow in the dark covers? I just have to turn the light on every 15 minutes so they stay glowing."
So I was able to find us. I'm sorry, I'm going to torture you guys with this.
You know, if you're that sorry, you just wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
let me pre-apologize.
Glee right now. I've never seen Leo so
Let
happy.
me pre-apologize. No. Fuck you and your pre-apology. I can't accept an apology for something I don't know if I'm going to be fucking incensed or offended by. Take your pre-apology and shove it right up your ass. I'll decide how I feel after you do or say the thing.
We did this a long time ago. I'm just saying that. But here we go.
Hey, have you guys seen the latest Kotaku update?
Whoa, look at those graphics!
You mean you haven't played it yet? I can play it on my DS.
It's The Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad.
Octoroks, Tektites, and Levers too, but with your help, our hero pulls through.
Yeah, go Link. Yeah, get Zelda. Wiki wiki week.
The Nintendo 3DS. Your parents help you hook it up. Legend of Zelda, sold separately.
That happened.
You fucking see me, pal? You see
That
me?
happened.
Fuck you, Leo. What the fuck, guys? It's so crazy. I know for a fact there was no drugs involved with that whatsoever. Like, I know that. You may as well have been able to slap a fucking Nancy Reagan sticker at the end of that shit, okay? And you guys, in all of your fucking working faculties, still were like, this is the best idea we've ever had.
We're gonna do this.
We're gonna do it, and we're just gonna rock the shit, and like no one has ever seen it rocked before. And you know what? I'm actually gonna put like the sloppiest cut in the world right in the middle of it after Leo finishes his part, so it's clear that there was some kind of fuck up, and we're just gonna let it ride. I don't even fucking care if it lands on Snake Eyes, boys. That's the game. Now you're playing with power. Fucking wow. From a stunningly mediocre commercial to a stunningly mediocre redux of that commercial. I don't want to say from strength to strength, so I won't. I mean, it's definitely goofy. You guys are fucking clowns.
Leo looked like a baby. How many years ago was that?
I know, dude.
That was had to be like around 2014.
Wow.
So not that long ago.
Decade
It's,
ago.
you know what it is? He had like no facial hair whatsoever. Even like the chin was gone, and also those teeny tiny little like earbuds in the side of your head instead of big old headphones like this. It changes the overall look. It's like this is professional podcast Leo right here, gang. Oh yeah, velvety smooth voice coming to you with the airwaves of the Dorkening Podcast Network. Back then he's like, "Hey everyone, I'm Leo, and this is me and my buddies singing a Zelda rap. Please like check out our stuff, the DorkeningNetwork.com."
If you guys are really good, maybe I'll find my Vader Says video where I donned a Vader mask and
I
started.
need to know what constitutes very. Yeah. You know what? No. No. I'm nipping this in the bud right now. No, you stop it. Finish your salad.
Oh, what was that, Rich?
I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
He was like, he was goading you. He was like, "Why is that worse, Leo? I don't believe you." Like, I saw where it was going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I decided to refrain. Let's
you could almost hear you twirling your invisible mustache. Like, oh yes, that would be terrible, Leo. If I'm here, who's tying that girl to the railroad tracks?
Yeah, it's
So,
much worse. Yeah.
but yeah, so like we were saying though, Blade got pushed. It's gonna affect a couple of other projects. It looks like. I think they also looked at moving the date for Fantastic Four and something else. That's fine. I mean, quite frankly, I've said it before. I never get upset when a movie studio is like, "Yeah, we're gonna actually push this out a little further," because to me, that says they're actually being mindful of the amount of time it takes to make a quality project. You know, if they set a date and then they get to a point where logistically it's really not going to happen without sacrificing a good amount of quality, you know, then fuck that movie. I mean, that type of shit always adversely affects how people see and enjoy a production. Warner Brothers, unfortunately, has done that like several times where they set a date like, nope, fuck it, we're gonna hit that date no matter what. And maybe it would have been a smarter idea to like push it back a couple of months. You know, give yourself a little bit more breathing room. You know, no, I'm not a defender of
A little
version.
Morbin moving room. Is that what you said? Morbin?
yeah, maybe a little bit there for sure. I mean, but I was gonna say I'm not even like I don't stand up for either version of Justice League that was released, but certainly with the Justice League that was released in theaters, maybe it would have been better off if they had said, you know what, let's take a beat. We actually need to keep from releasing this on this date. Like we're gonna miss it and we're gonna get fucked. But if we make the quality of this movie better, then we make up for it going into the next fiscal year, so that deficit won't be as great. Like you still have to look at these things financially, and you know that probably would have been the wisest move. But instead, no, all aboard the fuck train. They just kept driving right towards that fucking release date, come hell or high water. And I mean, look at the end result. We have a fucking weird ass schism right down the line for fans of those movies or whatever you want to call it. You know, some people are ambivalent. I mean, that's really where it seems to fall. It's not even like anyone feels passionate on both sides. It's like there are a lot of ambivalent people, and then there are a lot of people who are super into that one director and not necessarily those movies. It's all just like become a focal point of, it's like being a fan of Quentin Tarantino. Not that I have a problem with him, but if you like his movies, you like him. That's pretty much where it falls. And it's kind of gotten to that point with Zack Snyder, but I don't think that you should see someone's movies or art solely because it's them doing it. Like, I can't say that I have a very favorite director that I'll absolutely see everything they do no matter what. I can't do that at all. Like, not with a single person. I mean, I love Kevin Smith movies, but I wouldn't fucking run right out to see any Kevin Smith movie. Christopher Nolan, there's no one really, except maybe Mel Brooks. All right, I'll give Mel Brooks. If Mel Brooks was like, I'm gonna direct another movie, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that because you're Mel Brooks. I'll give him that.
So you brought up DC. Did you have a chance to watch Battle of the Super Sons yet?
I have not watched it yet. No.
Okay.
No, me neither.
I am aware of it though. I did see it, and I was like, oh, but there were other pressing matters.
I'm interested to see what you guys think. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very well put together, especially in contrast to I want to say Invincible, but I'm not. Injustice. Definitely in contrast to that, shit show.
The shit show.
Yeah.
Which Injustice? Justice League, the Injustice, the war one.
In the Injustice, there's only been one Injustice movie, right?
Yeah, the animated movie in Injustice.
Right. Yep. My mistake.
No, you're probably thinking of there's like what is it? Dark Justice. There's been a couple of those.
Yeah, the one where
Dark
they
Justice.
put Superman's tattoo and kryptonite on his chest.
That's Apocalypse War.
Oh, Apocalypse War. All right.
Yeah, that's Apocalypse War. But yeah, Injustice, based on the story from the video game where, Superman is tricked
Kills
into
Lois.
killing Lois and then goes full on despot and just takes over the world. Of course, Batman's the good guy, right? Yeah, Batman's gonna stop Superman. Oh, real fucking creative, DC. Haven't seen that story like 50,000 times. Dump. You know what would be really great is if in the midst of Batman chasing down Superman, we could get like a flashback sequence that shows him as a young child walking out of a movie theater down a dark alley. And you won't believe what happened to his parents. It's crazy.
Were there pearls?
Oh, so many pearls. It practically rained pearls in that alley. When they were ripped from his mother's neck after both she and her husband were shot in the face by Joe Chill in front of their 8-year-old son. Good times. Fun to be had by all. For kids.
Is it Brendan Gleeson?
Brendan Gleeson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know who Brendan Gleeson is, but I don't know what context you might be referring to him in.
He was just on SNL.
Oh, yes, that was Brendan Gleeson.
Yep. He just signed on to be in Joker 2.
Okay. Interesting.
Does he sing?
I don't know.
Because isn't that supposed to be? Because isn't Joker 2?
Oh, it's a
they
musical?
announcing it's going to be a musical?
It's a musical, and who's the actress that plays
Lady Gaga?
Yeah, but
I love the pronunciation. I guess if she's going to be the Joker's girl after this movie, though, it'd be more like Lady Haha, right?
Ha
supposedly it's supposed to be a it's from what I've read, it's supposed to be a movie seen through Harley's eyes. That's why it's a musical.
Yes, that is what I've heard as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
The
first one was good.
First one was it was good for what it was. Like, I personally, I enjoyed it. I saw it in the theater, but like, I didn't see a need for a sequel.
No, it wasn't meant to be sequeled.
Yeah, except it ended up becoming like one of the fucking highest grossing independent movies of all time.
And he did one of his best performances, in my opinion.
I mean, he did great. I mean, everyone in it was they were very, very good.
Right.
It's just with the nature of the story and sort of having a slanted skew of everything, a parallax view of the situation leading up to him and then maybe Batman. Okay, I'm fine with that one shot, which I've said time and time again, I really think is a way that DC can differentiate themselves. Is Marvel had their one shots, but I think DC could do a run of actual feature length movies that are able to take a lot of the same characters and basically brand them as, like, I would say, call them prestige format.
Yeah.
And that's your one shot. It's like, oh, here's a one-off story. It's starring different people as these same characters, but like, this story is set particularly for this movie, so enjoy yourself. I like that same idea with Joker. Moving forward, though, like, why? I mean, I understand you want to make money, but it's like sometimes just let a thing be. Is Rocky 5 as good as Rocky?
Nay.
I don't think so.
I think they need to follow what they're doing with like the animated universe, which has been hit and miss, but like all the movies could be taken totally separately. Some of them seem to be like continuations, So it could be taken either way of just, a over encompassing universe or just one shots. It's just how you look at it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's plenty of opportunity to do stuff like that, but if you haven't set up a concrete storyline for people to be able to like trace their finger along a little bit, then just putting product out there featuring characters but in wildly different settings is going to be more than a little confusing. You're never gonna have this sense of consistency or brace yourself for no consistency from project to project if they don't do anything to truly differentiate it from what they're setting up as like main timeline, mainstream, whatever. But it's early days for what they're doing over there now with having merged with Warner Brothers Discovery. I know everyone's talking about layoffs left and right and like, oh, they're doing this and they're not doing that and they're getting rid of this. It's like, yeah, once again, like they just went through a gigantic fucking merger. Like this is the same story you're going to hear for like the next year or so. So get used to it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of shit trimmed before they get to a point where they're like, all right, now we're exactly where we think we need to be on the organizational flow chart. So let's get everybody into their niches and let's get to work full on.
Well, another thing to keep in mind is we don't know how bad things were, with Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers in general. Some are saying that they were like a year away from like going bankrupt. It's all these cuts could have been to save the business, but we don't know everything. We don't know the whole story. And I'm sorry I interrupted. What were you going to say, Rich?
No, I mean, as far as what you're saying, all we can do is speculate. But I mean, and who's to even say that what they first announced, which is, oh, we're going to go concentrate on Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, just because they're saying that a month or two ago, doesn't mean that when they're actually rolling out the movies a year or 5 years from now, that it won't be, because those actors and actresses may have aged out at this point and they may be having to recast everyone. So,
yeah. And even though they cast him, it could be maybe Henry Cavill goes, fuck it, I'm going to go over to Marvel, or Gal Gadot decides to, just go live on a ranch, and doesn't want to act. We don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see them continue, but it's not set in stone.
Absolutely not. And, and a lot of that is some of it is they are testing the ground. They say something and they want to see what the reaction is. If it's how many people are being negative. I mean, they have all kinds of ways to tally that shit now, with AIs and polling.
Oh, yeah.
And they can shift their plans in a heartbeat, and we would never know the difference.
Yep.
Until they decide to drop some kind of announcement.
The larger companies have, there's all these listening tools so they can know everything being said on the interwebs, about their brand.
Every time certain keywords are mentioned in what they're searching for, and they'll find it. And they'll analyze the data and do best that they can based on the electronics. I mean, still as nerds, we generally going to bitch about something.
Oh yeah, totally.
Whether it's
you say so,
whether it's a serious bitch or we're just talking about it to have something to talk about.
Oh, you want to talk about a serious bitch? I see you've met my ex-girlfriend.
But
hey, take my wife, please.
It's not like it's the Mario voice or anything,
Damn you, Universal and Illumination!
So
you ruined the Mario movie for me.
So Quantum Leap, you're liking that?
Yeah, I'm into it. Like I'm not saying I'm gung ho. I'm not frothing in the mouth, but I'm enjoying it. Especially as this new series goes on. It just had the 4th episode on this week, and I'm actually also watching the original series at the same time, my wife started watching the new show with me, and I asked her like, "Hey, I really want to refamiliarize myself with the original as well." It's all available on Peacock, so I was like, "Will you watch this with me?" And, if you're gonna watch the new show, it might make sense to understand why a lot of people wanted the new show to come back, and maybe even what's going on in it. And with
Well,
each
Brandon,
passing, what's that?
for those of us that haven't seen the show at all, is the premise 100% the same? What is the difference?
It is essentially the same. So in this new one, the original is, Dr. Sam Beckett theorizing that someone could travel through time within their own lifetime, develops Project Quantum Leap, and then one day he steps into the accelerator himself and vanished. And he was supposed to be the person like running the project, and Admiral Al Cavici, I think his name's Cavici. I might be saying his last name wrong, and I apologize. But Al, he was supposed to be the leaper. They developed Project Quantum Leap together. They were best friends, and Al was the military portion of this whole government funded project. Well, Sam took it on himself to do that, and Al ended up becoming the guide for Sam, in which they established that they had already set baselines for themselves for when the project was actually going to go ahead, and their brain wavelengths, their frequencies were already programmed into the entire project. So Al and Sam, like Sam can only see Al, even in the imaging chamber where Al is. Like Al appears as a hologram to Sam, and Sam and everything surrounding him, the time that Al is visiting in the imaging chamber, appears as a hologram to him. So they can't actually physically interact. But I only found out recently that only person who is set up with the project for that can interact directly with the leaper. I never realized that before.
Interesting.
It gets to the end of that series, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but it's one of the most despised and disappointing series finales of all time, because after 5 years of watching Dr. Sam Beckett leap through time and having every episode begin with, I think essentially they established it was Ziggy narrating it, a woman's voice giving you the brief overview of the show and saying like,
Oh, I didn't know that was Ziggy.
I think so, but I do know for a fact it was Deborah Pratt. She was a producer and writer on the show, and was also married to the creator of the show, Don Bellisario. They're in an episode together. Sam is he leaps into the person that Don Bellisario is playing in the episode. So he shows up as like the mirror image, and Deborah Pratt plays that character's friend, patient, wife, whatever. I don't know. And they gave her character their daughter's name in the show. Their daughter's real name is their daughter in real life is Troyan Bellisario, and they named Deborah Pratt's character after their kid. But she at the end of each introduction, it was always, hoping that each leap would be the leap home. And this new one, just like the end of the series, Dr. Sam Beckett never returned home. Well, now Project Quantum Leap is starting up again. They were reaching like, the window, 0 hour. And it was being run by a new quantum physicist, Dr. Ben Song, which I get a kick out of because his initials are just reversed. Sam Beckett, Ben Song. And he goes to the accelerator one night and steps into it, and they're like, what the because the plan was for him to run it and for his fiance Addison to be the leaper. She's like full on like military background, like knows her shit back to front. She's also, smart as hell too. Everybody in Quantum Leap is. And of course the roles get reversed. There's a little bit of an added aspect to it because he has Swiss cheese memory, just like Sam did in the original series. He doesn't remember his entire life. He has like huge gaps in his memory. So he doesn't necessarily remember all of his personal details, his personal life, stuff like that. He doesn't remember that Addison is his fiance. And she has to go in there and constantly like guide him and not let him know because she can't. It's classified. And if he can't remember, that means he might. And there's also some sketchy situations as to why he might have jumped in the accelerator that they don't know if they can trust him. And it turns out that they do connect it more directly to the original series. This is the same Project Quantum Leap that was started by Dr. Sam Beckett, and he has been lost. They never found him. There's a guy from the military played by Ernie Hudson, who is the head of Project Quantum Leap now. I can't remember his full name, but everybody calls him Magic. Now, as someone who is a Quantum Leap fan, I was like, holy shit, that's a big fucking deal. That directly connects an episode, like a couple of big episodes, to this entire series. Magic is who Sam leaped into during the Vietnam War in the episode The Leap Home Part 2 in like the 3rd season. His presence as Magic changed his entire platoon from getting killed. Everyone lived instead. In that platoon was Sam's brother Tom, who had previously died in Vietnam, and that changed the future, and it made it so that Tom survived. Well, at the end of the series, we find out Sam never makes it home. The last time we ever see him leap, he actually leaps as himself into the past and goes to Al's wife, Beth. Al, his partner, his friend who developed this with him, was a POW during Vietnam, and he was there for a decade. He was brutalized. And in that time, his wife, Beth, she gave up hope and she moved on with her life. She's the only woman that Al ever really loved, and he spends most of the series being seemingly a real like Lothario, like a real womanizer. And you realize it's like, oh, because like he's completely numb. Like he truly can never care about any other woman romantically because the one woman he really loved, thinks he died and moved on. Like that's that. It broke him into a million pieces. Well, Sam travels to Beth, who we did meet in The Leap Home and stuff like that in season 3, and tells her, Al is alive. I'm telling you for a fact he is alive. You need to wait for him. Don't listen to anybody else. He's alive. And he leaps, but the blue light that usually surrounds him surrounds Al's old Navy picture that she always kept on the table next to her like sitting chair. And when it finishes leaping, it's now a picture of the two of them with 4 daughters, and it moves down the line, and you see like, oh, he survived. Well, we come to find out that this new season is the altered timeline, the future that was changed because of actions taken by Sam Beckett in the past. Magic is the one heading up Quantum Leap, and Al's daughter, one of Al's daughters, Janice, is one of the people who for some reason convinced Ben to go into the Quantum Leap accelerator and thrust himself into the heart of the project and become the leaper instead of being the observer. And it's crazy because Magic goes on to say like he explains it to what's their name, Mason Alexander. They played Desire in The Sandman on Netflix. They're like the tech person for Project Quantum Leap. Magic is like, come have a coffee with me, and he sits down with them and he explains like, I was in the Vietnam War and they always called me Magic because it seemed like I was good luck and everyone always survived around me. And I remember there was this one really rough time when we were over there. I blacked out for God knows how long. I don't remember much about it. But when I came to, I was told that I saved our entire platoon. Not a single person dropped. Well, I did pretty well for myself there, and I stayed in the military. I became career, and I rose up the ranks, and it finally got to a point where I found out that my name was in a file in some top secret project from the 90s. And so I looked into it, and I managed to get the files for Project Quantum Leap and found out that me and every other guy in that platoon that day were supposed to die. And Sam Beckett is out there somewhere after saving mine and countless other people's lives, and we haven't done anything truly to get him back and save his. And I was like, what? Like, there's so much going on.
So the whole thing is like a mission to save Sam.
It's to save Sam, to save Ben, figure out what Ben is doing with Janice, why she convinced him to do. And not only that, he did something. He put in a brand new set of algorithms into the accelerator, the whole mechanics before he leaped. And they're just trying to make sense of everything that's going. And they're just now seeing, like, it looks like he's leaping in a particular direction. Like it's not going in a straight line, but it is bringing him to this one point, and they can't figure out what that is. And yeah, it's by the time you get to like the third and fourth episodes, it becomes far more intriguing. I can understand people who were fans of the old show. I'm one of them, being used to the format of that. You know, Sam leaps, Al shows up through the light door. He's like, Sam, you gotta do this. And, you know, Sam ends up punching someone or saving someone or, you know, standing up for a just cause. And then he glows blue. He shows up in somebody else's life and he goes, oh boy. And it's the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
You never really see much of the outside world in the original show. This is a split because we're dealing with the intrigue of why this happened the way it did now and what Ben needs to do with Addison and the team's help to right what once went wrong and continue on to his next leap. And
they delve deep into connecting the two series.
Yeah, like honestly, if I didn't love the original and know a decent amount about it, like retain some of it, I don't know that I would have caught or been as giddy about Magic telling that story, like saying like I blacked out, like holy shit, he was in the waiting room that whole time, you know. And that's the one thing I will say about this current show I'm curious about, because they established, and I think some people that just have a cursory knowledge of it, they don't quite understand, Sam physically does not leap into anybody. It's like it's his essence, it's his energy that jumps into someone. So we see him
say his soul.
You could say his soul, but you know, Sam was a quantum physicist, so you know, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, simply changed or transferred. And that's essentially what we're talking about here, because you know, he's transferring his energy from one state to another. But that's the thing, he's transferring it. He is embodying this person. He's wearing them. He's in them. So to him, he feels like him, but he looks and sounds exactly like them because it's them. It's their body and voice and everything. The other side of it is Sam's body is still in the present, where he used the quantum accelerator to leap. But they keep him in what they call the waiting room, because every person that he temporarily steps into, by default, boomerangs and lands in him. And they have to keep that person like calm and preoccupied. And they're usually in kind of a stupid, dazed state because it's, you know, it's some weird shit. And it makes it seemingly a little easier to transition back so they can kind of like start to get those gaps filled in by their own memories and experiences and think that they did those things themselves. We haven't seen any kind of waiting room or even heard it mentioned in this new series, and I'm curious as to how that's going to pan out. But it's been very, very, very interesting. I have to say, if I do say so myself.
Well, I'll definitely, continue to watch it. I watched the first episode, and I tried to get my wife into watching it. We tried watching the original series, yeah, and she couldn't get into it. But Rich,
it's really tough with the first episode. You went with Genesis, the pilot, right? That is not a good episode to get someone to watch that show on.
yeah,
honestly,
I know. I figured we just start it from the beginning. Maybe I can convince her to try another one. But Rich, I highly recommend you check it out. It's I absolutely loved it. And Brandon, I don't have the memory of the original one like you do. My memory is Swiss cheese.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, like the original show, it's so fun, especially when you think about the fact it was made at the tail end of the '80s, and the '80s for television, like for action adventure type shows, I mean, they were all pretty much the same when you break it down, like especially that point in the late '80s. Like, okay, like you got your A-Team, you got your Airwolf, you got your even Greatest American Hero became very tropey. It always ended up becoming like the same setup each time. Whereas Quantum Leap, I mean, it was the same character, but thrust in such completely different directions. The things that he would have to do would be either sometimes like so huge, you'd be like, I can't believe that's what he has to fucking do in order to be able to leap. Like that's gonna set a domino effect that make things right. And then the other side was like, I can't believe he had to do such a small, tiny, seemingly insignificant thing, and that changed everything for the better. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of hope, especially in the first series. It tackles quite a few issues and is, for the most part, like impressive for the time that it was made in, because it does what the best sci-fi does. It sneaks those ideas in to the story it's telling, and by the time you finish watching, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I think I've just been privy to a moral. It's really good. And this new show, it seems like they're trying to figure out how to work around the original show's conclusion, for lack of a better term, and still chart a path for itself going forward. I'm so far, like, I'm sticking with it. I was impressed these two episodes, 3 and 4. That's when it really ties together. But yeah, man, if you haven't checked it out, I mean, if you like time travel stories, you'll dig it. And Scott Bakula, if not for nothing else, watch it so you can agree with me that he would have been the absolute best pick to play Hal Jordan if they had made a Green Lantern movie in 1990.
Rich, I know you're getting sleepy, so we'll wrap things up. I know we ran a little late. So I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. So for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which. But I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. Head on over to thedorkening.com. You can find all the latest episodes there. And Mr. Brandon.
Hey, everybody. My name is Powerful Brandon, also known as Brandon Powers. If you feel so inclined, come on over to Powers Combined. It's a Facebook group. We are just a bunch of dorks that like to get together, share memes, news, info, laughs, good times, and fun to be had by all. If you come on over, you'll notice our number one rule is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, you will be booted immediately. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and on Instagram at This Brandon Has Powers. You can also find me on 2 podcasts here on the Dorkening Podcast Network. One is The Dork Night, in which myself, Mr. Leo Pond, and Justin the Cooper discuss and dissect all things Batman. And switching places with that on a bi-weekly basis is Comics Paradox, in which myself, Leo, and Justin discuss alternate reality takes and tales on different characters and storylines. We cover things like Elseworlds, What Ifs. We'll be doing story arcs like Amalgam Comics or Age of Apocalypse. We recently discussed for an upcoming episode The Sentry, the original miniseries by Paul Jenkins. So we have a lot of fun looking at that kind of parallax view of what could have been or what might have been. So that's out every Sunday, every other week for each one of those episodes, and you can find them wherever fine podcasts are broadcast.
Awesome. Velvet Joker.
Well, good evening. I'm Velvet Joker, and you can find me on Instagram, Velvet Joker 2021, or on TikTok, Velvet Joker 1. I'm also the co-host of Splash Pages, a comic book club podcast here on the Dorkening Podcast Network, which is on Tuesday nights. If you like what you saw here, or another night, or if you just want another nerd show to try out, why don't you give us a shot? Go jump over to Facebook, check out, join the club, or watch us wherever podcasts that you like to listen to, whatever platform you prefer. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
That we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.